Good afternoon, Jason Shepard here with the Anchor Room. Today we're going to use the tools shown in front of you. From left to right we have the bottle of water. To the right of that we have the application fluid, which is nothing more than 1 to 2 milliliters of baby shampoo to 32 ounces of water also. We have a felt tip squeegee, and we're also showing a yellow flex squeegee. Preference may be yours. I prefer the one on the right, which is the yellow flex. Felt tip will do just as good of a job. And then last but not least, below that is the microfiber towel, which we will use to remove any excess liquid and finish the installation. Alright, let's get started. Alright, here we are on the front end of this 2018 Mustang. The lens we're going to do right now is the actual full headlight lens piece. As you can tell, it's perfectly cut to the contour of the lens that's in the car. It's pretty straightforward. Ford actually made this lens a little easier to do. We will have a couple of fingers to worry about during the installation, but like I said, it's a lot easier than the earlier S550 models, the 2015 through 17. We're going to start by removing the actual headlight tint from the backing material. Spray it heavily with application fluid. We're going to do so on the lens itself, which we also, by the way, previously cleaned. The application fluid, since it's soapy water, obviously is there, so we can actually move the piece back and forth and get it in place exactly where we need it. Once we have it positioned right, make sure you pay attention to this top edge, the back side, as well as this front lip. But once we have it in place, we are now going to use plain water to wash away that excess soap, and that's going to keep it in place, and we're going to get started. Once we have the piece in place and we washed away most of the application fluid, I'm just going to run the squeegee over front side of it to kind of get it to stick. Make sure, like I said again, you pay attention to this bottom edge. It's very close, but it's, you can peel this stuff up quite easily and reposition it and get it exactly where you want it. In regard to this headlight, I do want to make sure I mentioned, because of gravity obviously, that sometimes it's better if we start top to bottom, because if there's any liquid that's trapped in the top, the only way it's going to go out easily is towards the bottom, obviously. So I'm going to try to remove most of this water from the top side, and this hood portion actually may be a little easier if you actually pop the hood, but I'm going to try to show it to you without making it easy on myself, I guess. But as you can tell, I'm going to be stuck with just a few fingers, and we're going to need a heat gun to get rid of those as we dab away all the water. So I'm going to grab my heat gun and show you the final piece of this installation. Alright, so as we talked about before, we have some fingers to work with. The good thing is that they're fairly large in size, which usually makes it a lot easier, and the idea behind removing the fingers is by applying a little bit of heat and then using the towel to kind of smooth them out. The heat helps evaporate the water. The towel catches the excess water that you're pushing out. It's kind of a working in tandem, working with each other here. And like I mentioned, I'm starting at the top. Apply a little bit of heat. Massage it. Remove the heat, obviously. You don't want to scorch the tint or the car. And I think I mentioned it in a few other videos too, using the microfiber as a tool itself and bunching it between the material as well as the body panel really helps shape it the way it should be. As you can tell, with patience and eventually all that liquid being evaporated, you'll end up with the perfect product. You get the point here. I'm going to speed this up a little bit and show you the end result. Alright, as you can tell, I'm just working my way around the edge now. I have done pretty much the entire top side, and I am working my way towards the bottom again because I said that, you know, we want to obviously have gravity work in our favor. But I wanted to show you this real quick because I often talk about splitting fingers and never really explain it, but you can see the finger as I apply heat. I'm going right in between of the actual finger, and I'm just using my finger actually, funny enough, to get rid of this finger, but you're splitting fingers to a point where they no longer exist. Occasionally I'll use my microfiber towel to dab at that excess liquid that I'm pushing out. But as you can tell, that's how you make them go away. It's a fairly straightforward process. In this case I'm having constant heat on there, but from a good enough distance. I'm probably about 9 inches away with our Wagner Pro gun. And we also have those available on our website if you're interested in getting the same tools that we actually use every day. And as you can tell, it's pretty straightforward and getting towards the end here. And the reason that these are taking a little longer than the rest of them is simply because of all the liquid that still has to be moved out. As you can tell, they're getting smaller and smaller every time I put my finger on it. Alright, working my way around the bend here on the final stretch. Wrapping it around the lip to make sure the whole entire lens is covered. And as you can tell, it's about a done deal. Thank you for your time and your purchase, and have a great day.